Hi there, my name is Asad Zumair. I am a third-year chemistry student, and this is the first episode of my podcast. On my first episode, I brought in my good friend Rachel Rustenmeyer, and we had a really chill, laid-back episode where we talked about working together on our least favorite holiday, which was Easter. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy.
Should we at least get into Easter a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Should we get into Easter a
I
little
was
bit?
just gonna say that.
Should we get into Easter?
Should we get into Easter? What time did you go in on Easter?
The same time as everyone else.
No, I was there already when you got there.
Oh, right.
Because the night before, by the way, they told us to go in early and Assad didn't go in early.
Because I had to pick up Monday, bro.
He picked up our friend Monday, not to be confused with Wednesday,
Wait.
Friday, August, or May.
Right. So
Right.
Easter opens at 11, right? Or 11:30.
Easter,
It opens at 11.
it was 11,
And they told us, oh, you can come early at 10:30.
and they scheduled us for 10. Mind you, all of the police settings, we weren't done, this is so hard to explain. We weren't done they made us, make...
I'll insert a picture, because I know our manager was just like, cute bunny napkins Easter inspired on Pinterest. So I'm going to find them.
She was head-ass I was searching for bunny ear napkins, and this was the easiest one by far. I wanted to go easy on you guys. You want to go easy on us? She made one essay, do all of the bunny ear napkins. We needed, 280 of them?
We needed 400 of them. We needed 400 because
This poor girl, let's
we had
call her...
200 heads, bro.
We're gonna call her Sadie.
Sadie.
Sadie had to make all of these bunny napkins, and she didn't finish. We all worked a double the day before, so she started them there, and she literally stayed 3 hours over her shift just to make these bunny ears.
When they're complaining about overtime, bro.
When they're complaining about overtime and they won't let us take overtime. So, oh my god. So she did that, and then she had to come in early to finish because she couldn't possibly do all of them in those 3 extra hours that she already put in.
Well, I don't know how she didn't finish them when she came in the next morning.
Because they ran out of thread.
Oh, right.
And then she was like...
Right, because they also involve thread.
Right, so she also had to tie each... So not only did she have to do all these folds, but she also had to tie them with thread.
Dude,
It's so annoying. And then they scheduled us for 10, knowing that we had to finish the bunny ears, set up every table.
Set up the entire dining room,
Yes,
bro.
the entire dining room. Nothing was set up.
We had to put on tablecloths when we don't normally have tablecloths on.
Yeah, and outside, everywhere. And, don't even get me started on the sections. I'm still pissed by them because, people made, $300 more than me because of their section.
Dude, we got shafted.
No, yeah, fully. Fully.
We got shafted.
Badly. Anyways, they scheduled us for 10. An hour was not enough time.
No.
Assad comes in
At 10:30.
at 10:30 because they were scheduled at 10:30.
Yeah.
I was scheduled at 10, but they told us to come in early, so we all came in at 9.
9?
Yes.
9?
It was 9 or 9:30.
What were y'all doing for 2 hours?
We were setting up, because then not only did the bunny ears have to be folded and tied with thread, but they also have to have the plastic Easter eggs, in between the bunny ears. We gotta put in a picture, because they're not gonna understand this.
No, well, I'll insert a picture, but
Insert picture here.
But it's the most, standard Dollar Tree.
And it didn't even look good. And the chocolates that they bought to put in the eggs for each of the tables were too big, and they didn't fit in the eggs. And then we were so busy that the servers couldn't give out the candy with the you were supposed to give a candy out with the check. And we were so busy that we couldn't give out the free... Because then also 30 minutes into the shift, we still didn't know how to run the checks. Because the managers didn't figure it out beforehand, because they had a prefix menu and they prepaid, but then also some of the entrees were more money.
Ooh, mind you, the prefix menu had nothing to do with Easter.
Yeah, mind you.
Nothing to do
People showed up and literally left.
Dude, they showed up for Easter brunch. There was no Easter, there was no brunch. It was dinner. They showed up at 11:30 for dinner.
There was duck confit.
Yeah, duck.
Confit salad.
It was duck pate.
Yes, duck pate.
It looked like cat food.
Oh my god, and then don't even get me started on the fucking buttons in the computer.
But we still have Easter buttons in the computer.
Do we?
I think we still have some of the prefix items still in there. Because you can't delete a button, you have to replace it.
Crooking.
Manager put in the computer, like, it would be, like, under salads. There was, like, 3 salad options, and it was, like, a spring salad, a red oak salad.
Wait, what made it red oak?
The lettuce was red oak, but that red oak salad was the duck pate salad. So when someone would be like, oh, I'd get the duck pate, and then I'd go in the computer to look for duck
There's
pate,
no
and
duck
all it
pate.
said was salad red. And I was like, red?
Fricking.
Kill me. Like,
Oh my
red.
God.
So I had to have a menu in front of me every time I had to put an order in, and it took me
Dude,
forever.
Red oak salad is... dude, and I remember when I hopped... Because at some point I abandoned you, because I was like, alright, we're not doing anything.
No, we were doing nothing.
We were doing nothing, so I started helping out the kitchen. Like, I started helping out Monday food run, bro. And, dude...
Mind you, I had 1 table, and my food was taking up to an hour to get
Well,
out.
dude, because we had, like, 4 real tables in our section.
Yeah. We had the high rail. That 3 people sat on the whole day.
Dude. And then 4 real tables. 2 of them not even, like... 2 of them were only 2 of them were 4 tops.
And then they turned a 4 top into a 10 at some point.
Right. Which, fire hazard. I think that's legit a fire
Yeah, we were
hazard.
not allowed to do that.
Yeah, I think it's against, like, fire code.
They, like, our managers let us overbook. Like, Jesus? Like, to a fault. They overbooked us.
They overbooked us like crazy, bro. And
Just because they wanted more money, right?
dude, like, with what we made by overbooking, we lost by letting them leave, and I think we evened it out.
Yeah. My average tip was 12%.
I told you to auto-grad all those.
Lovely customers.
Should have auto-graded, but I was like, oh, it's Easter, people are gonna be nice. Hey, no, the food for every table took over an hour to get there.
Dude, well, because I tell our manager when we do these big holidays. It happened on Valentine's Day, and it's gonna happen on Mother's Day. Mark my words, y'all.
Are you working? I'm working, I think.
Oh yeah.
I didn't take it off, so I'm probably on.
I didn't take it off either.
Screwed.
When we first started doing holidays with this manager, she would just have them bring it in, like, as normal, which you can't do when
No.
you have, like, a full course meal.
No. But why did they think we could do a 4-course meal in this restaurant?
I don't know. But, so anyway, so after Valentine's Day, they were like, she was like, oh, we're gonna ring in everything on the ticket, which I was like, yes, but we need to do fire tickets. A fire ticket is like when the server puts in the entire order, and the kitchen only fires, like,
One course at a time.
Exactly, the starter. And then once we get the starter out, we just hold the ticket until we get a fire ticket.
Yeah. Like,
The-
we
the
could have
server
sent it
sends.
through with course lines in it.
Yeah.
And not fire lines.
Yes.
We didn't have to fire all 4 courses at once. But she made us do that,
Yes.
and it fucked us over royally.
She made them, but we still had to hold all the other shit.
Yes, and then my things would go out with, like, it would, like, skip a course. And I was like, how did this happen if you
Dude.
made me print out the whole ticket at once? And then
Well,
it was
it
like,
would happen
oh, you're
because-
not telling us when it's fired, we're doing it. I was like,
Dude, and that's what gets me though, because she would be in the kitchen with Monday, and be like, what tables do you need me to look for if we could fire it? Which, that's not how you do, like, a 4-course dinner.
do you remember when I, like, walked right, I was coming back and the desserts were going out for the 10 top, and they got delivered, and I was like, we lost the ticket, and you were like, they don't have it, like, it's not there, and it got sent out. It got sent out when I asked for it, and then they made the 10-person dessert table over
And
again.
then we ran out of the desserts.
No,
No.
they still had those desserts,
What
but
was that holiday then when...
is that Christmas Eve?
No, it was dueling pianos, bro. Did
You weren't dueling pianos?
Not upstairs, but...
Oh, I was upstairs. Oh, it was dueling
when
pianos!
when they sent...
The key lime pie!
Yes, and this was low-key my fuck up.
Okay.
So we were, like, low on the desserts, like dueling piano.
What the
What
frick?
even is dueling piano? Let me
It's
explain
these
that.
2 guys. Okay, well, actually, it's not. It's a company. Dueling Pianos is a company out of New York, and they're great people, right?
Represent, yo.
They have represent, and they have 2 pianos, and they face each other, and it's basically like they're all comedians, but they're also singers and pianists.
Oh, what?
So it's really funny. Like, they have a good time, and people, like, the way that they get tipped is, like, people will write on the slips a song request with, like, a 10, and then
Oh.
whatever is the most
Oh.
amount of money, like, they'll do that one first, and then they'll be like, okay, Piano Man. and then they'll do it, and like in between, they're also like getting the crowd involved, and like they're creating comedy. It's like
so
a good time.
I thought it was just some like boring like piano guy. Up
No, it's like a good time. Like they're like they have high energy. Like it's a comedy, and like everyone's drunk. Oh my god, to a fault. It's really bad.
Well, anyways, we had dinner. Like how they would do it is like you would get dinner before dueling pianos. Like you would pay a certain amount of money.
Yes, but that was only the one time. We've never done that before. That's why it went so poorly.
Oh really?
Because they were like testing it out. Basically, like they sold tickets in advance, where it's like you get dinner downstairs.
I'll edit
Bleep
it.
that.
I'll edit it.
You get dinner downstairs, and then you come upstairs for the show that was like at 7 or 8.
Right, but they forget that
The
if
kitchen's slow.
everyone's coming in at a certain time to be out at a certain time, they're not all leaving at that time.
And you have to make sure, like, if you're gonna put in all of those people for dinner at the same time, you have to schedule all of those people for 6 o'clock dinner if the show's at 8.
Exactly.
Like you cannot stagger them.
You can't take a 7 o'clock reservation when they gotta be up there at 8.
Yeah, and you can't take outside reservations either if that's what you're doing.
Why not?
Because not at that time. You block out those 2 hours.
Yeah.
You could take them for 5. You could take them for 8. And you could take them for 7 when the show starts. But you need to block out that amount of time for at least that amount of people that bought that ticket.
Yeah.
Because then they weren't going to make it. So basically,
But no, they wanted to make money, so they said.
they wanted to make money. Again, the fault. They want to make money, so they just like plow over the fact that it's not going to work.
And it was a prefix too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a prefix. Like, can we stop with the prefixes? It doesn't work.
And well, anyways, like there was like a big table, and their desserts like I don't know what I did, but it wasn't my fault a lot. It was just my fault a smidge.
How? Because it was slightly my fault also.
Well,
But remember,
oh.
sorry.
All I know is what happened is we ran out of desserts because we ran out of desserts.
We ran out of key lime pie only.
Yeah, we ran out of a few desserts.
Are you sure?
I think so. Because we were bringing up the food and the desserts upstairs to them at their tables because the show had already started.
We brought their food out, like their entrees up.
Yeah. And I think what happened was I gave the pastry people the ticket to fire the desserts, and they
Still had their entrees.
all I know is that I ended up
Breaking up.
the order of
That they were sent to.
who was supposed to get the dessert.
Okay.
So then one table didn't get their desserts, even though they should have gotten it first.
Yes.
Because by that point we would have 86. And
that
then
wasn't
everything
your
else.
fault though, because she sent me out with desserts and was like, "It's this person. I'll come out with you and show you where they're sitting."
Right, and then she didn't do
Right, and then I turn around and she's gone, and so I dropped them off at the people that I thought she was talking about because they did have an open check and they did in fact order those desserts. So they did have those desserts. They were just second in line to get the desserts.
Right, I do remember that.
Right. So then I dropped them off. She blew up at me and was like, "You didn't follow my directions, blah, 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 since you're losing patience." And I was like, "I'll show you losing patience." And that's all she wrote. Bon voyage.
Bon voyage, y'all.